Good afternoon and welcome to Race Matters. My name is Tony Chooks, and today we're going to be talking about reverse racism. My white brothers and sisters, please indulge me by listening to this point. I've learned a new definition for empathy. I'm getting some counseling right now, and I'm reading a book that's given a new definition for empathy. Now, heretofore, it meant putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I realize many of my white brothers and sisters don't have the ability to put themselves in my shoes. They've never lived where I've lived, they don't have my life experiences, and they've never had my black skin. The new definition that I've learned from a prominent female writer is believe me when I tell you my story. Empathy is believing somebody. Since you can't experience and go into their shoes, then you got to believe them. That's what I'd like you to do today as I talk about reverse racism. I was planning on doing an in-depth study on the subject of reverse racism, but I changed my mind. If you listen to a previous podcast called Racism, The Hidden Dilemma, you know that no black person can be a racist. And you would never come up with, and you'd probably never really come up with a silly term like that if you knew what racism was, and meaning reverse racism. By inventing this term, it appears that the only time I can get some white people to discuss racism is when it creeps into their own kitchen. I'll make you a deal. When we can discuss reverse racism when you show me that the equivalent zeal to discuss forward racism. This thing you call reverse racism has existed for about 40 years. And it's a knee-jerk reaction to some affirmative action programs that took place in the 1980s that are pretty much gone now. So let me get this straight. 400 years of slavery, 200 plus in this country. And we get this thing called affirmative action, and it lasts 40 years, and now you're sick of it, and so we're now wanting to talk about reverse racism. Come on, guys. We haven't even talked about forward racism yet. How can we talk about reverse racism when we haven't talked about forward racism? Please show me that zeal. And when you do that, then we can have a discussion about reverse racism. But until that time, all I can tell my white brothers and sisters with regard to reverse racism is to be patient. These things take time. We can't force people to change. Do those things sound familiar? Thank you so much for listening.